This is Shawn Green. Thanks for tuning into the Online Zone on Cardplayer TV. This is the Online Poker Weekend Recap. Last night saw two tournaments with prize pools of more than $1 million. Event number 6 in the Full Tilt Online Poker Series, or F-Tops, edged out the PokerStars Sunday Million to be the big gun this weekend. The tournament at Full Tilt had 4,372 entrants and a prize pool of $1,311,600, while the Sunday Million had 6,567 entrants and a prize pool of $1,308,600, just $3,000 less. Despite the small difference, first place at Full Tilt stood to earn $232,000, while the winner of the Sunday Million would get only $188,000. We'll take a look at the elimination hands from both of those tournaments, and I'll give a quick recap of the big tournaments at both Ultimate Bet and Bodog. First, let's take a look at the biggest tournament of the weekend, the F-Tops $1 million guarantee. Poker star JC Party Piece Sucks Alvarado made it to the final table. Let's take a look at the elimination hands to see how he fared. In the first, King Gustar made an all-in bluff on a board of 4-9 Ace 10-2, and Big Buckin' Chicken ran down his clock before calling and showing Jack 9 for a pair of 9s. King Gustar held just Jack high and was out in 9th place. In the next elimination hand, Phil H. Poker pushed his short stack all-in on the button and predicted his demise by saying, "Good game all." He was called by 313 OG, who showed pocket 9s. Phil H. Poker had Ace 4 and needed to improve. The board failed to help him, and he was sent to the rail in 8th place. Big Buckin' Chicken was the next to go, and he pushed all-in preflop with King 5 and was called by Party Piece Sucks with Ace 9. Big Buckin' Chicken pulled into the lead when the flop brought a 5, but Party Piece Sucks hit running aces to retake the lead and take him out in 7th place. Next, Decove71 open pushed all in and went up against Decoggin SF, who showed pocket 10s. The 10s were dominating Decove71's pocket trays as the board completely bricked out. Decove71 left the table in 6th place. Dejana was the next player to move all in pre-flop. He got 2 callers, both of whom checked it down to the river. Dejana showed Big Slick suited for just Ace High, and 313 OG took down the pot with King 9 for a rivered pair of 9s. Dejana was out in 5th place. Party Piece Sucks had been nursing a short stack for a while and finally went out just 2 hands later. He pushed all in pre-flop and was called by a Coggin SF who showed King Jack. Party Piece Sucks held the lead with Ace 7 until the turn and river brought a King and Jack to give a Coggin SF 2 pair. Party Piece Sucks went out in 4th place. Sierra Features then went out on a bluff of sorts when he pushed all in pre-flop against a raise from 313 OG. 313 OG called and showed pocket 10s, and Sierra Features held just Jack 10 and was in bad shape. The board put out blanks, and 313 OG took down the pot to eliminate Sierra Features in 3rd place. 313 OG was the chip leader when it got down to heads-up play, and he continued to increase his margin until the final hand. A Coggin SF pushed all in on a 10-high flop, and 313 OG called instantly and showed pocket aces. A Coggin SF held a dominated pocket queens, and it wasn't looking good for him. The turn and river bricked out, and a Coggin SF was out in 2nd place. 313 OG took down the final pot to earn the $232,000 and the exclusive gold F-Tops jersey avatar. Now let's get to the elimination hands of this week's Sunday Million at PokerStars. The first elimination hand was a doozy, and no, I'm not going to be saying that word often. Babar31 pushed all in pre-flop as the short stack, and Bobby Bagpipe re-raised all in himself. Then, Roberta114 also re-raised all in, folding the remaining players. Roberta114 held pocket aces, Bobby Bagpipe held pocket 10s, and Babar31 held just King 9. By the turn, Roberta114 had a wheel straight, which rendered Bobby Bagpipe's rivered set of 10s useless. Roberta114 eliminated Babar31 in 9th place and Bobby Bagpipe in 8th place. In the next elimination hand, both Poker Skill and I Got Dibs slow played an ace-high flop and then got all in on the turn. I Got Dibs held 2 pair with his Ace King, and Poker Skill was dominated and drawing dead with Ace 7. He was out in 7th place. Iric S was the next to go when he pushed all in for barely more than Downosaur's pre-flop raise. Downosaur called and showed pocket 9s, and Iric S held Ace Jack. The flop gave Downosaur a full house and left Iric S needing running aces or jacks to stay alive. He was drawing dead when the turn bricked out, and he was eliminated in 6th place. Flindra then pushed all in pre-flop when action folded to him in the small blind, and Roberto 114 called with pocket fives. Flindra held king 5 and needed help. The board failed to bring that help, and he was out in 5th place. The 4 remaining players then attempted to discuss a chop deal, but I Got Dibs, the chip leader at the time, wanted $125,000, $5,000 more than a buy the chips chop would have guaranteed him, and at least one player refused. Play then continued. Roosterfish, the short stack player at the table, was the next to get all of his chips in on a flop of Queen 9. Downosaur called and showed pocket aces, and Roosterfish turned over Jack 10 for an open-ended straight draw. The draw never hit, however, and Roosterfish was sent to the virtual rail in 4th place. Downosaur held the chip lead as three-way play began, but I Got Dibs took over the lead in a big hand. He called all in on a board of 5-6-9-7-2 with 3 diamonds and showed 10-9 of diamonds for a flush. Downosaur held Queen 8 for a turn straight and became the new short stack player at the table. Downosaur regained much of his stack soon thereafter when he pushed all in preflop and was called by I Got Dibs. Downosaur showed pocket 9s and was dominating I Got Dibs' pocket 3s. The 9s held up and the 2 players were virtually even in chips. Roberta 114 had basically been sitting back for a bit while the 2 duked it out, but she finally check-raised all in on a queen high flop, and I Got Dibs called and showed ace queen. I Got Dibs found that he was dominating Roberta 114's queen 2, and the turn and river failed to put Roberta 114 in the lead. She was out in 3rd place. I Got Dibs had a small chip lead after the hand and held on to that lead until the final hand just 3 hands later. On a board reading Jack Ace 6-8, Downosaur bet big. I Got Dibs pushed all in and Downosaur called and showed Ace 6 for 2 pair. I Got Dibs revealed Ace 8 for a better 2 pair on the turn and took down the final pot when the river was a blank. Downosaur went out in 2nd place, and I Got Dibs cashed out for the entire $188,000 first place prize. The Ultimate Bet $200,000 guaranteed tournament had 944 entrants last night, down from the record-breaking 1,048 entrants of 2 weeks ago, the last time the tournament was held. Ultimate Bet came out of pocket for $11,200 to match the posted guarantee. Now, due to technical difficulties, we were unable to get footage of the final table for this event. James Crazy Canuck Worth made it to the final table before eventually busting out in 6th place when his 10-9 suited failed to catch up to Bear Beer's pocket queens. Bear Beer ended up getting heads up with notable internet player Blake Balla B13 Cahill. Bear Beer started out as the chip leader, but Balla B13 trudged along and took over the chip lead. He eventually eliminated Bear Beer when he snagged pocket aces versus Bear Beer's pocket 7s. Balla B13 earned $45,000 for his first place finish. The Bodog $100,000 guaranteed tournament's attendance was also down this weekend. The tournament had just 865 entrants compared to last weekend's 926. The tournament required an overlay of $13,500 to match the guarantee. 4 players were eliminated in the first 7 minutes of play, and it was down to heads up in just 28 minutes. Novus and Pugmeister were the last 2 players remaining, and their stacks were very close. The heads up match lasted longer than the entire final table before it. Novus proved his screen name wrong and came out victorious after 37 minutes of heads up play. He pocketed the $25,000 first place prize. That's all for this week. Good luck on the digital felts, and thank you for tuning into the Online Zone on Cardplayer TV.